What up? What up? Put a better look on your face. It's King Quayus in the place, man. It's Execute Exposure, and this is a financially lit Friday. All right. Now this is a little segment I'm gonna start doing, and I'm gonna try to be consistent with it. But every Friday, I'm gonna try to come on and give you guys either financially lit, a concept, or a term. So we'll either go over terms or concepts. All right. And the whole point of this is to start exposing you to terms and concepts surrounding financial literacy, so that you will become more familiar with them. And I think the more that you hear a certain term or concept, the more curious you'll become about it, and you'll seek to figure out what it means or what it's for, right? So, financially lit Fridays. The first concept that I want to introduce is generational wealth. All right, generational wealth is the first concept that I want to talk about. What is generational wealth? Generational wealth is the kind of wealth that you will be able to pass down, and your grandchildren will be able to live off of. So, I think there's a quote in the Bible that says, "A good man um, leaves a what's the word? Not a fortune. Leaves a what's the word? Leaves a oh, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children." Think about that. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. So that means your grandkids will be able to live off of the wealth that you create, and that is generational wealth. And also, I probably should mention regenerational wealth. Regenerational wealth is the kind of wealth that your grandchildren's grandchildren are able to live off of. Meaning, you started something and passed it down, and throughout their different generations, they kept it going, and they were able to maintain and continue on the legacy of that, and therefore, the wealth lasted generation after generation after generation after generation. That's regenerational wealth, and that's what we should all want for ourselves, for our families. So, just start putting that idea into the minds of your loved ones. Just start having conversations around the subject of generational wealth, because it's something that we should all be trying to get for our families, right? Even if you're somebody who says, "I'm not gonna have any kids," what about your woman, or your husband? What about your uncle, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister? What about them? You know, you don't have to create generational wealth just for offspring. It can be for your living family that's going to be here when you may not. So let's start working towards creating a legacy, and building a generational wealth for our families. Now, there's a lot of different ways that generational wealth is created. Generational wealth can be created through assets, the passing down of assets. There are different ways that generational wealth can be created. Guess you could get lucky, hit the lotto. Chances are you won't. So there's also real estate. You can pass down properties. You can pass down rental properties that actually make money. You can pass down homes that will be worth a lot more than they were when you purchased them. You can pass down a business. You can pass down specialized knowledge, like Ian Dunlap, the master investor. He has a son, and I imagine as his son grows up, he's going to teach his son stocks, and his son is going to also become a master investor. So you can pass down a specialized knowledge, and which can help continue on adding to your generational wealth. And then another way that generational wealth is created is through life insurance, because when a person purchases life insurance, there is a death benefit that goes to the family at the time of transition, depending on what what a person's income is and what assets they have. That's going to determine how much the death benefit is going to be. But in a lot of cases, death benefit, 100,000, 250,000, 500K, a million. It can be more. So it just kind of depends on your circumstances, right? Now, I think it's very important to bring up the differences between certain communities. And usually the differences are based on what one community has been taught versus the other. Now, now, when somebody passes away in a black community, what happens? Sometimes somebody has to put it on their credit. Sometimes a couple people have to do that, come together, pull some money together. Sometimes people have to create GoFundMe. Sometimes people got to do cookouts and car washes to pay for a funeral. Because in a lot of cases in our community, there is no life insurance in place. So not only do we lose a person that we love, and in some cases we lose the breadwinner, so the provider. So we don't get a chance to really mourn because we have to figure something out. We have to figure out how we're going to pay for this funeral. How are we going to send them off? Do you think other communities deal with the same thing? The same problem? No. In other communities, it's a fundamental thing for them to have life insurance in place. So when they lose somebody, the breadwinner, they might inherit $500,000. They might inherit $750,000. They might inherit $1 million or more. It just depends. But that is such a different position to be in compared to, a family who was about to do a GoFundMe to pay for their funeral. You can't even, you don't even get a chance. We don't even get a chance to mourn our people. So by us not having a proper chance to mourn, we can't even remember them right. We can't, you know what I mean? We can't even call on our ancestors in a proper way because we don't even send them off right. Because we're always in a panic or under stress, you know what I mean? That's the general situation that our community is dealing with. So I think we need to think about generational wealth more often. I think we need to have more conversations about it. And everybody needs to figure out, how are you going to go about creating generational wealth for your family? Because it's on you. If you're listening to this, if it's on your brain to do it, you're supposed to do it. The responsibility is on you. Within my family, I feel like the responsibility is on me to create generational wealth. Now, like everything that I'm teaching people these days is new information to me. I've gotten it within the last year. But I want to teach financial literacy to as many as my people who are willing to listen, because I want us to all catch up to the rest of the world. Because I feel like we're great people, and it's just, I think we get in our own way sometimes. I know we got a lot of stuff that we can blame, but in many ways we get in our own way. And some of it is circumstantial. It's because of the conditions that we're under that we might respond in certain ways, but I still don't think that's an excuse to not improve. So let's start, trying to tap into our higher selves, our greatest selves, set goals, think clearly, learn how to focus, learn how to focus on a single task and get that done. And right now, the concept that I want you to sleep with and wake up thinking about is generational wealth. And I want to know how you're going to create that for your family. All right. So this has been this has been an edition of the Execute Exposure show. And, this is a Financially Lit Friday. And I hope you guys learned something here today about generational wealth. And I hope I put it on your brain to figure out how you're going to obtain it. All right, because it's out there for everybody. We're going to get to it. Yada-da.